All right, keep me away from eBay. When I was buying that other radio, I ran across this one and bought it for fun. It's a Kenwood, I think it's a 241. I think that's right. Where's the sticker on this thing? Here we go. It's a TM-241A. All right, there you go. It's a 2-meter radio. I think it's 65 watts or something like this. I think it's a pretty healthy one. It was listed as doesn't work. Actually, doesn't transmit is what it said. Doesn't transmit. So it's all otherwise completely functional. And these things are notorious for having the RF module break in them. And it's usually a mechanical break. It's very, very easy to fix. And so anyway, 50 bucks, okay. Probably overpaid for it, but 50 bucks. Let's open this one up and see if I can't fix it. But let's go figure out if it, before we do anything, whenever you get a radio, before you do anything, you always verify. If you if you watch the TRX bench, you know, always verify what the customer tells you, right? So let's go put it on the analyzer and see if it does receive and see if it doesn't transmit. We'll check those two things out. All right, here's a bunch of instruments that you probably have seen before. This is my electrometer, the driver that I built, the power supply that I rebuilt, my high voltage supply that I use all the time, another power supply that I've rebuilt. So they're all kind of stacked up over here. And so I've just kind of set the little Kenwood here on top. All right, and so we'll turn on the HP power supply. We'll turn on the radio, and oh, there we go. Oh, they've got a dirty pot. But it is working. All right, 145.000. Can you see any of that? Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so 145.000. So I have the output going over here to my, I don't like this angle. Let me change the camera. All right, have it to my HP 8921. So what did it say? 145 megahertz. Oh, there we go. You hear it? Very nice. So it's receiving just fine at minus 80 dBm. Let's lower that. Here's minus 100, 102. Yeah, it sounds fine. So starting to crap out at 120. So yeah, it's working really, really good. If you want to know that in microvolts, it's 0.2 microvolts. So quarter of a microvolt. Probably the SINAD. We could probably do a SINAD on it later, but looks like it's receiving just fine. Okay, so let's do a transmit test. And turn down the volume here. Okay, so transmit test. It's in simplex. Let me grab the microphone here, and I'm pulling about 3 amps, which doesn't sound like it's enough. So something's not working right. And we're getting 0.03 watts. Let's put that in dBm so we can try to figure out what it's doing. dBm. And it's 15 dBm. Okay, that's all it outputs, 15 dBm. Let's see if it's actually modulating. So let's see here. Let's turn up the volume on this thing. And hello, test, 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 test. Hello, test. There you go. Hello, test. So the radio is working fine. It's transmitting 15 dBm, which is not a whole heck of a lot. So I suspect that the output section is gone kaput, and that's what everybody with these radios, or I've seen a lot of videos, a lot of people with these radios, that's the thing that goes bad. So I think that's the thing we'll go look at, right? There's a saying about that, you know, whatever's obvious, that's probably the thing that's wrong. So let's get that little guy open and take a look at his transmit section. Okay, there's a speaker wire attached, and there it is. Can you see it? It is a TOSHIBA S-AV17, and it's a hybrid module, and that's the thing that supposedly goes bad in these things. And they are a ceramic substrate, and if this thing's ever been put in a vehicle, I mean, you know, it's made to be put in a vehicle, the vibration eventually cracks that ceramic and kills a trace. And then you just have to put a little bridge, a solder bridge or a little wire or something to get rid of the bridge, get rid of the break, and you'll be up in business again, as long as, you know, it didn't blow up the transistor or whatever. But these things are pretty easy to take out. There's just 4 wires, 4 or 5 wires. I think there's only 4 wires on this one. And these, you desolder them from the bottom, or disconnect the, I don't think I'll do it with that. Pull these 2 screws out, and this thing will just pop right out, and we'll go from there. All right, so I have my desoldering tool here, and let's see if this solder is going to cooperate with this. Well, that looks good. That looks good. Looks very nice. Let's check it with a magnifying glass. Make sure these, I need a screwdriver here. Make sure these are actually loose in the hole. There we go. They're usually stuck to one side. That was right in the middle. That was in the middle. And that one just broke loose. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's all we need. Pull these 2 screws out here. Is that the right size screwdriver? Nope, a little bit wiggly. I always use the right size screwdriver. Yeah, that's better. Oh, it's not very tight. And, oh gosh. Okay. And let's get over here. That speaker thing's kind of in the way. Does this thing just pop out? Oh, it does. Oh, there we go. Make it easier. Duh. All right. All right. Let's see if this comes loose. Yep. And it's fighting me a little bit. Seems like it's still soldered down somewhere. Let's see, I can see that one's loose there. This one's loose. That one. Why is it fighting me? And there's no, a lot of people also, there's no heatsink grease on this thing, so that's kind of an odd thing as well. No. Did I miss some soldering? I don't think so. It's loose over here. Oh, there we go. I think it's wiggling loose. Huh. Did I miss one? Is this not desoldered all the way? Is there one that I missed? I don't see it. Those are loose. And there's one. This one here seems loose, and this one here maybe is tight. Although it seems loose on this side as well. Interesting. There's probably a little bit of solder. There we go. Uh-oh. Well, oh, there's a whole bunch of solder on this side. Oh dear. I'll have to solder that back once I take it apart, but the pin stayed in the radio. So we can put new wires on these. That won't be any problem. All right, so let's take this under the microscope and see if we can't pop the lid off this thing and take a look inside, see if we can't find any breakage. All right, so this little thing here is just a little plastic shell. That's all it is. It just pops right off very easily. It's not even glued down. It's just clamped on there. And we can see inside and see all the really nice goodness in here. This is the driver FET, and this is the output FET. And there's some filtering in there, little squiggly lines. So things go in here and they come out over here. So here's these little wires. Oops, I'm not pointing at it. So the little, make something to point with. So we have the wires that come out, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the one I broke off. I'll just add a little wire there. Now, this is the ceramic substrate that cracks. There was one gentleman who had a crack right here, and I saw another gentleman who had a crack over in this area. And my board ends up being cracked in exactly the same location as one of the YouTubers. And I'll show that to you. In fact, mine has more crack than his did. And so, looking to see if there's another crack here or not. I see another funny, oops, that's not my magnifying glass. Here it is. No, I think that's just, no, that's just things. Okay, so like I said, this is driver chip 1, driver chip 2, a little output section here. This is probably where the VCC comes in and gets filtered. So where is mine broken? And how do you determine that? Well, you look. You try to look around, and I can see it under my real fancy microscope. There's a crack that runs from about the corner of this gold here all the way across to the outside. So the ceramic here is cracked all the way down. And if you take a continuity checker, I think you can hear that, and you can go here, you can check the continuity of this thing here, and then it stops. Yeah, there's a break. There's a break right here. I can see it really obvious where I'm sitting. There's a big break right there, so I need to bridge that. In addition to that, that crack continues, and so there's some kind of chip here. I don't know if it's an inductor or a capacitor, but I think, I don't know. There's a crack that runs through that as well. That makes me nervous. I want to fill that in with solder as well. But I think those are the things that I see. So I'm going to use a very fine tip. I'm going to try to put a little piece of wire to bridge that gap so it doesn't crack again. I don't know about just blobbing it with solder. That might be okay, but I think solder is pretty soft, so maybe just a little bit of wire. And I'll take a look at that other crack there. And let's see if we can't fix this thing, get it going again. All right, so I soldered on a little wire there, the one that I broke off. It's not exactly easy soldering to that module. It sinks the heat away from your iron, and they use a really weird, probably silver, some kind of silver solder or something, and It's a little bit hard to get soldered away to. It will, but all right, that looks good. Let's go to this side, and we have wire. All right, so everything is where it should be, and let's solder it back to the board. All right. Repair complete. At least repair attempt number 1 complete. Yeah, I'm not dumb enough to think that that's the only thing that's wrong with it, but cross our fingers and it is. Because that's the most logical thing to have happened. I don't think I'll button it up. I think I'll leave it like it is, and let's go test it, and let's go test it and see if it transmits. All right, I have it hooked up, and let's turn the power on. Turn this power on. I'm going to set it to low output power because I think it might work now. So I think this button here says, let me get a flashlight. I can't read that little display without some light on it. That says mid power. That says low power. So yeah, let's start with low power. And let's transmit it. I'm going to be watching the, can you see it all in the picture here? Yeah, I'm going to be watching that meter. Oh, it came up. That's good news. We're at 4.5 amps now. So let's do a transmit test over on the machine here, and let's see what it says. Oh, 7.6 watts. Awesome. Awesome. Very nice. Very nice. Let's try mid power. Mid power. 23 watts. Yikes. How many amps are we doing here? 4 amps. Oh, it's very efficient. Nice. Hello, test, test, test. Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see here. Let's turn up the volume. Hello, test, 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 test. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we're not at the right frequency. Something's wrong. We're not at the right frequency. What happened? Oh no. Oh no, let's go back to low. There we go, 145. Hello, test. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, test, test, test. All right, so low power works, 7.62 watts. Okay. Why did a mid power go wacky on me? Maybe my power supply is not enough for this thing. That could be it. It might just be current limiting. Oh, that's what it is. Ah, rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. I had the current limit on my power supply. That's what I was only doing 4 amps. I had the current limit way, way down. All right, so let's redo the mid test. Turn that down. Let's see, this is low power. So low power is, there we go. Yeah, low power is about 4.5 amps. And mid power is, yeah, there we go, 8 amps. Yay, 8 amps. Good deal. All right, let's go back over here. And mid power is 25 watts at 1.45. Yeah, 1.45, yay. Hello, test, test, test. Let's see. Testing, testing, hello, test, 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 test. Yay, it works. And I'm assuming that if I had a big enough power supply, it would output all of its power too. Anyway, very happy with that. That was pretty quick. If you search on the internet for S-AV17, you'll find some repair videos that other people have done. That's where I got my idea. You can buy new modules. They're like $100 or something ridiculous new. You can find used ones for like 30 bucks or something like that. So, you know, you shouldn't pay too much for these radios if they're busted, because if you have to replace that module, you know, it's like half of the cost of the radio. Yeah, so 50 bucks works just great now. and we're set to go. I did put a little wire on that trace, so hopefully it won't break. And I think we're all up and running again. I'll button this thing up and call it a day.